everybody. Welcome back to Daytime York Region. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Kat Downey. She's the owner, founder of Legacy Matters. And today we're talking about really the whole topic, I think, Kat, of educating people about planning for this huge life event.
The inevitable.
The inevitable.
Right.
Something we should all be thinking about.
Exactly.
Is it called funeral planning or
Well, there's a couple elements to this. There's two main parts that people often have to have some courage to look at is the funeral pre-planning piece, and then what are my important papers and what do I do with them?
Right.
People often come to this with a bit of hesitation. It's a tough topic.
Sure.
They have to have some courage to say, you know what, I'd like to find out more. And that's what keeps me going as a professional educator, to help people know more, explore their options, talk to their families,
Right.
and then make the choices that are right for them.
So I guess every situation is unique and different.
Yes.
You must see sometimes the actual individual coming to you
Correct.
to seek education and information about planning for themselves. But you must also see family members coming when the individual themselves cannot.
That's a great question, and it exactly does go both parts, almost 50-50. Good question.
Okay. Yeah.
What will motivate people to seek out more information? Perhaps their health has suddenly changed. Are your affairs in order is a pretty tough thing to hear.
Right.
Other people may have gone to a funeral that they really liked something or didn't like something. And often people say, you know, we've been thinking about this a long time and now it's time. So that question is always very intriguing to me. What's making this the right time to say, I'd like to know more.
Right.
I'd like to explore my options and choices. So when people look at that, sometimes capacity and dementia is an issue. So you may have a wife and her kids coming with her to help plan things if dad has dementia,
Right.
or vice versa, because it is a contract, it's legally binding, so there has to be an exploration of the issue of capacity for who can enter into a contract.
Wow. So a lot to think about, really.
Right, right.
What are some of the first things that the individual should be thinking about when they come to see you?
In terms of end-of-life planning, three main things.
Yeah.
Wills and powers of attorney are very important. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not of capacity to do that, but I always ask people, do you have a valid will you're happy with?
Right.
And most people will say yes, thankfully. Well, about 50%, so that's not really most. And others will think, well, I don't need a will. I don't have much stuff.
I don't have anything. Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is, who is your legal voice when you can no longer speak? And powers of attorney are for capacity if you have incapacity, long or short term. And the will is your estate trustee, is your voice when you've actually died.
Okay.
So those two are important. The other two pieces I can help people with are the funeral pre-planning, prepayment part, and also organizing their important paperwork.
Right.
One story comes to mind, a lady I was working with to organize things. I'd asked her to organize ahead of time, put her financial pile in one spot and her insurance pile in another, etc. Because that's what this helps people organize.
Right.
So we got to the insurance pile, and really neat document. I like old documents. The writing and the ink on them is really neat. And she said, I don't know what this is. I don't even think I still have this insurance. So with her permission, I phoned through, and of course the security questions to ask that I could work with her. And it turns out it was a valid insurance policy she'd forgotten about. It was worth $5,000. So that feels good, right? To help people out like that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, she wasn't sure how to go about finding out, so with her permission, I could help her with that. And that's a good day when she feels good about that. So.
And so you have this great kit. You've brought it with you. This is
Right.
the Executor's companion kit.
Right.
You can actually grab the kit because it's really neat. It's functional.
It's functional.
So what does it do?
Well, when people are asking me, you know, basically the question was, Kat, I don't know where to start.
Right.
So wherever you start at the funeral pre-planning piece, then the question about an executor, then what does your estate trustee do? Too many people are thrown into being an estate trustee. Number one, they may not even know they're an estate trustee. Do they have the time? Are they capable? And the big thing here is, what am I dealing with? So I thought there's got to be a way to flip this around. People who enjoy cleaning up deposit slips at ATMs would love this. People who wipe counters if they've gone to the washroom or somewhere and clean up a little bit more. This is the way to keep all your important things in one spot. There's a disc here because things do change. And then this is our adult baby book. So
isn't this great?
We're talking about banking, credit, insurances, funeral planning, cemetery piece, investments, and then the wills and powers of attorney, and a estate checklist at the end. So my intent here was to help people know what's important and why, to ask the questions and make the decisions that work for them. And then further to that was, this is a little bit distinct, it's a little bit bigger, and it's portable, it's accessible.
Right.
So that each section becomes, here's my stuff. So the people who have had the courage to work with me and complete this, it's not something you'll do in one weekend. But especially after Family Day and the cold weather, maybe people sit and start to organize one spot at a time.
Can they do this before they even do the funeral?
Sure.
Can everybody have one of these at home and just
work at it?
Work at it, because it's not something you just throw together. This is years and years of work.
This is your story.
Right.
This is saying, this is the loving gift to your family. This is what I've worked hard for. This is what I've put together.
Wow.
This is the legacy I'm leaving for my family, and I've let you know what I have, where it is, and what I want done with it.
And
that's huge. I think that piece mitigates any conflict in families when mom and dad took the time to set this up. There's no questions. It's all laid out. The rationale is there. It's very hard for family members and siblings to argue about what's been set up ahead of time.
And unfortunately, that does happen all too often. But this system is in place for that reason. So if people are watching right now, Kat, and they'd like to meet with you and find out more information about everything we've talked about, what is the best way to do that?
Oh, they could contact me at katdowney@legacymatters.ca. And for the first person who calls in during your show, they'll have this kit. It's $150 value. They call in, I'll get that to them or help them out with it if they wish.
Isn't that great?
Yeah,
Thank you so
you're
much.
welcome.
And it comes with the DVD as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Kat. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure to meet you. Don't forget, everybody, you can go to the website legacymatters.ca. Also, after the show on rogerstv.com, all of the guests that have been here on Daytime today will be listed there as well. We'll take a very short break. Lots more on Daytime after this.